Ever imagine like holding a piece of the solar system's history, like a time capsule, but from the time when planets were forming?
Yeah.
Well, that's what NASA scientists are doing right now
Right.
with samples from asteroid Bennu.
It's pretty wild.
You guys sent us a really fascinating collection of NASA articles about the OSIRIS-REx mission
Mm-hmm.
and its success. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into those articles
Okay.
and really dissect what they found. And you know what makes Bennu so special?
Sounds good.
So,
This mission is really remarkable. I mean, not only is it NASA's first asteroid sample return mission,
wow.
but it also brought back the largest sample ever collected from an asteroid.
Yeah, it's huge. I was reading that it weighs in at a whopping 4.29 ounces,
Wow.
or 121.6 grams.
Yeah.
That's even more than they expected to collect.
Yeah, they were really pleased with that.
Can you tell us a bit more about how they managed to, like, snag this piece of space history?
Yeah, so this spacecraft,
Which launched way back in 2016.
2016, used a really ingenious maneuver called touch and go, or tag.
Okay.
Essentially, it briefly touched the surface of Bennu
Okay.
in October 2020 and used a burst of nitrogen gas to kind of stir up surface material
Okay.
and capture it in a collector head.
Wow.
Then, after a long journey back, the capsule carrying the sample
Right.
landed safely back on Earth in September 2023
Wow.
and made its way to the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
It's amazing to think about this small capsule traveling billions of miles,
Yeah.
carrying this piece as an asteroid that's been around for billions of years.
That's mind-boggling.
It really is.
To think about the journey.
Yeah. You mentioned that this is a significant sample size.
Yeah.
Why is that so important for researchers?
Well, the size of the sample is really a game changer because it opens up a much wider range of analytical techniques
Oh, okay.
with this much material.
Right.
Scientists can conduct more in-depth analyses, including isotopic studies, which are crucial for determining the age and origins of Bennu's materials. It's like having a much larger puzzle with more pieces.
Right.
You get a clearer and more complete picture of the early solar system.
Okay, so we've got this incredible sample from Bennu.
Mm-hmm.
But why Bennu in the first place?
Wow.
What makes this asteroid so special that NASA spent billions of dollars to retrieve a sample from it?
Right, so Bennu isn't just any asteroid.
Okay.
It's what we call a carbon-rich asteroid, meaning it's packed with organic molecules.
Okay.
These molecules are essentially the building blocks of life as we know it.
Wow.
And because Bennu formed in the very early stages of our solar system,
Right.
it's like a time capsule from that era.
Oh, wow.
Potentially holding crucial clues to the origins of life itself.
Okay, so we're not just talking about rocks and dust here.
No.
We're talking about potentially understanding how life began.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big deal.
It's huge.
But even before getting this sample back, NASA scientists already knew Bennu was unique, right? What were some of the things they knew about its composition
Okay.
that made them so interested in it?
Well, even from telescopic observations, we knew that Bennu is what we call a rubble pile asteroid.
A rubble pile.
Rubble pile.
Okay.
It basically means it's not a solid chunk of rock.
Right.
It's a jumbled collection of rocks and boulders loosely held together by gravity.
Huh. Interesting.
So this structure hinted at a more complex history than we initially imagined.
A history that included water.
Exactly. Even before the sample return, evidence suggested that Bennu's parent body,
Okay.
a larger asteroid that Bennu likely broke off from billions of years ago,
Gotcha.
had interacted with liquid water.
Okay.
This is further supported by the presence of specific types of clay minerals,
Yeah.
particularly serpentine, which were found in the Bennu sample.
Now, for those of us who aren't geologists, can you explain what serpentine is and why finding it on Bennu is so significant?
Sure. So serpentine is a type of clay mineral that forms in the presence of water.
Okay.
So finding it on Bennu provides strong evidence that its parent body experienced significant interactions with liquid water, adding weight to the theory that asteroids like Bennu may have played a crucial role in delivering water to early Earth,
Wow.
contributing to the formation of our oceans.
Wow. So this seemingly insignificant pile of rubble is potentially connected to the very existence of our oceans.
It appears so.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is.
But you also mentioned that Bennu is considered a chemically primitive relic.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And how does it fit with this idea of a watery past?
So that's what makes Bennu so fascinating.
Right.
It's full of these seeming contradictions, despite the evidence of past water interaction.
Right.
Bennu's overall elemental composition closely resembles that of the Sun.
Okay.
This means that it's a remarkably well-preserved sample of the early solar system, relatively unchanged since its formation.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Yeah.
We have this ancient primitive object that also shows signs of a watery past.
Right.
What does all this tell us about Bennu's place in the grand scheme of things?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
Bennu is starting to look like a key player in the story of our solar system's evolution,
Wow.
and perhaps even the emergence of life itself.
Wow.
It reinforces the idea that asteroids weren't just passive bystanders,
Right.
but active participants in shaping the planets and seeding them with the ingredients necessary for life.
It's amazing to think that this little rubble pile from billions of years ago might hold the answers to some of the biggest questions about our existence.
Oh, you know, it's amazing.
Now I'm really curious to hear about the specific findings from the sample analysis.
Yes.
What have NASA scientists discovered so far that's really getting them excited?
That's where the real aha moments start to appear.
Okay.
And that's what we'll delve into next.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk about that.
So remember how we talked about Bennu being rich in those organic molecules, the potential building blocks of life?
Yeah, that was one of the things that initially caught my attention. It's fascinating to think that this asteroid could hold clues to the very origins of life.
Well, here's where it gets really exciting.
Okay.
The initial analysis of the Bennu sample has revealed something extraordinary.
Oh.
Magnesium sodium phosphates.
Phosphates. I have to admit, I don't know much about phosphates.
Okay.
What makes these so special?
Well, what's remarkable about these particular phosphates is that they are incredibly pure and surprisingly large.
Oh.
Something that hasn't been observed before in samples from meteorites.
Hmm.
But more importantly, phosphates play a critical role in the chemistry of life.
Okay, so help me understand this connection to life. What exactly do phosphates do?
You can think of them as essential components in the recipe for life.
Okay.
Phosphates are fundamental to the structure of DNA and RNA, the molecules that carry genetic information.
Right.
They are also essential for cellular energy systems,
Okay.
the processes that power all living things.
So finding these pure, large phosphates on Bennu
Yes.
is significant because it suggests that these key building blocks of life were present in the early solar system.
Exactly. And remember, the leading theory is that asteroids like Bennu could have delivered these types of molecules to early Earth, potentially playing a role in the emergence of life.
Now, I remember reading about another asteroid sample return mission, Japan's Hayabusa 2 mission
Yes.
to asteroid Ryugu.
Right.
They found phosphates there as well, right?
You're right. The Ryugu sample also contained phosphates.
Okay.
But what sets the Bennu phosphates apart is their remarkable purity and size.
Okay.
This subtle but important difference suggests something unique about the geochemical environment on Bennu and its parent body.
That's fascinating. Does this difference in the phosphates make you think that Bennu might be a more likely candidate for seeding life than Ryugu?
It's still early to say for sure, but the unique characteristics of Bennu's phosphates definitely add weight to that possibility. It's a question that scientists are actively investigating.
So let's try to piece this all together. We've got evidence of past water interaction on Bennu's parent body, these crucial phosphates, and a composition that reflects the early solar system.
Right.
What does this tell us about Bennu's role in the grand scheme of things?
Well, if we connect all of these pieces, Bennu's starting to look like a vital piece of the puzzle in understanding the evolution of our solar system and maybe even the very emergence of life itself.
It's incredible to think that something so seemingly insignificant, a little rubble pile floating in space, could hold such profound secrets. Now, I know that NASA plans to share portions of the Bennu sample with research labs all over the world. It's got to be exciting for the scientific community.
Yeah.
What kind of research are they hoping to do with these samples?
The possibilities are really quite vast. They'll be
Yeah.
studying everything from the detailed chemical composition of the box and dust
Mm-hmm.
to the processes that led to the formation of those unique phosphates.
Okay.
They'll also be looking for further evidence of water interaction
Right.
and trying to understand how Bennu's organic molecules have evolved over billions of years.
This raises an important question in my mind.
Okay.
If we're looking for evidence of life's building blocks on Bennu,
Mm-hmm.
how can we be sure that the samples weren't contaminated with Earth materials during their return journey?
That's a crucial consideration, and NASA has taken extraordinary precautions to prevent contamination.
Okay.
The sample capsule was specifically designed to protect its contents during atmospheric entry,
Right.
and the curation process at Johnson Space Center is incredibly meticulous.
Can you tell us a bit more about that process? What are they doing to ensure that these samples remain pristine?
Sure, they're using specialized glove boxes filled with nitrogen
Okay.
to keep the samples isolated from Earth's atmosphere.
Okay.
Every tool and procedure is carefully vetted to ensure there's no chance of contamination from earthly materials.
It's reassuring to know that they're going to such lengths to protect these precious samples. It sounds like they're not just thinking about current research, but also about the future.
Absolutely. They're preserving a significant portion of the sample for future generations of scientists.
Oh, wow.
It's an investment in the future of scientific discovery.
Yeah.
Imagine the technology we might have decades from now to analyze these samples. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us?
It's mind-blowing to think about the potential insights still hidden within those rocks and dust.
Yeah, it is.
But the story of OSIRIS-REx doesn't end with the Bennu sample return, does it?
No, it doesn't.
What happened to the spacecraft itself after it completed its primary mission?
Well, in a brilliant move, NASA has given the spacecraft an extended mission.
Oh, really?
It's now called OSIRIS-APEX.
OSIRIS-APEX, what does that stand for, and what's the new mission objective?
It stands for OSIRIS-REx Explorer,
Okay.
and its new target is another near-Earth asteroid.
Wait a minute, Bob. Isn't that the asteroid that caused quite a stir a few years back because of predictions about a potential impact with Earth?
That's the one. Apophis is a fascinating asteroid, and it will make an exceptionally close approach to Earth in 2029.
Really?
It's going to come so close that it'll be visible to the naked eye.
Wow. I can't even imagine what that would be like to witness.
It'll be something.
But if it's not going to hit Earth, why send OSIRIS-APEX to study it? What can we learn from this close encounter?
This close approach is a fantastic opportunity to study how Earth's gravity affects an asteroid.
Okay.
OSIRIS-APEX will be able to observe any changes in Apophis's rotation, surface features, and even its orbit as a result of this gravitational interaction.
So it's like having a front row seat to a cosmic dance between an asteroid and our planet.
Yeah, it is.
That data could be incredibly valuable, especially for understanding how these gravitational interactions influence the paths of asteroids and potentially informing future planetary defense strategies.
Exactly. It's another example of how these missions are about so much more than just collecting samples. They're pushing the boundaries of our knowledge about the solar system, its history, and even our place within it.
It's amazing to think that this mission, which started with a journey to a tiny asteroid billions of miles away, is now helping us understand potential threats to Earth and the broader evolution of our cosmic neighborhood.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of scientific exploration.
Now that we've touched upon OSIRIS-APEX's new mission,
Yes.
let's delve back into the initial analysis of the Bennu samples and explore the exciting findings that have emerged.
Okay. Sounds good.
So to kind of like recap what you were saying, OSIRIS-APEX is going to Apophis,
Exactly.
which is the asteroid that everyone was kind of like worried about a while back
Yeah, it got a lot of attention.
because it might hit Earth.
Right. But further observations
Right.
have ruled out an impact in 2029.
Okay, phew.
But
Yeah.
Apophis will still come incredibly close to Earth that year.
Wow.
Closer than many of our communication satellites.
So it's still going to be like a near miss.
Yeah, you could say that.
What will OSIRIS-APEX be studying during this flyby?
Well, this close approach provides a unique opportunity to study the effects of Earth's gravity on an asteroid up close.
Okay.
So OSIRIS-APEX will be observing any changes in Apophis's rotation rate,
Okay.
any shifts in its surface features, and even subtle alterations to its orbit caused by this gravitational interaction.
Wow, that's going to be fascinating to watch.
It will be.
And the data will be really useful for like figuring out how to protect ourselves from other asteroids.
You got it.
It's amazing to think that this mission, which started by going to Bennu,
All right.
is now helping us understand potential threats to Earth.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of scientific exploration.
I feel like that's a theme we see a lot in science.
It is.
Everything's connected.
Yeah.
So as we're analyzing the Bennu sample
Right.
and observing Apophis,
Mm.
we're looking for answers to some of humanity's most profound questions.
Absolutely.
Like, how did our solar system form? How did life emerge on Earth?
Yeah, are we alone in the universe?
Those are huge questions.
Huge question.
And it's incredible that these missions are helping us address those questions.
I know, it's exciting.
Well, this has been a really incredible deep dive
It has.
into OSIRIS-REx and OSIRIS-APEX.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I'm really eager to hear about the future discoveries that emerge from the Bennu sample analysis and the Apophis observations.
Me too.
This is really a testament to human ingenuity and our pursuit of knowledge.
I couldn't agree more. It's an exciting time for space exploration, and missions like OSIRIS-REx are paving the way for even greater discoveries in the years to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about this really fascinating mission.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of science and technology.